Justin, I came out into the garage the other day, and I was looking through my attic, and you know what I found?
Are those vintage toys?
This is a vintage Obi-Wan Kenobi 12-inch figure, and you know what it really made me realize?
I miss my shirts from the movies.
I need more Star Wars shirts, and not just regular Star Wars shirts. Vintage Star Wars shirts. And you know what? Luckily, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I stumbled upon this amazing Instagram.
Yes. What is that?
Tatooine Traders Co.
Oh.
And luckily, they're sponsoring this episode, guys.
Weird. I'm wearing one of his shirts right now.
You know what? It's weird. I'm also wearing one. This is the vintage style Vader tee, as you can see. Head over there, guys. They are sponsoring this episode for us. Support the people that support us. Justin, tell the people how it is spelled.
Tatooine Traders Co. Check them out on Instagram. Check out their website. All spelled the same way. You can get sweet shirts like my Good Soldiers Follow Order shirt, or you can go check out their vintage selection with tags still on them, 2002. There's 2 sweet Jango Fett ones floating in there right now. I got my eyes on.
And the shirt that we're both digging, that we both want, it's on our list right now, is the Boonta Eve Champion tee.
Oh, freshly restocked.
Freshly restocked. It's Anakin. Now these are t-shirts.
Celebrating that big pod race win.
Boonta Eve, guys, go on there. They've got, like I said, the vintage style stuff. They also have some new stuff. They got some sequel stuff in there. The prequel stuff is really what we've been geared towards more, though. But, guys, support the people that support us. Once again, use coupon code Konkons at checkout for 10% off. KONKONS.
And get ready for that December drop, which is about to happen. So
everything restocked,
new shirts possibly.
Tons of
stuff. They even have loot crates.
Yep, loot crates
mystery
are up there.
Selection of stuff.
Yep,
it's a good shirt spot.
Head over to their Instagram, give them a follow, support the people that support us, and thank you very much for supporting this episode. Tatooine Traders Co.
Tatooine Traders Co.
We'll see you next time.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession. Don't you agree?
We back. Again.
Yep. I always have to do the little thing. What is up, everybody? It is your boy. It's Konkon. Back at it again. This week, we're doing something a little bit differently. As you saw, Justin was moving some stuff around because on this laptop, and as you were seeing on your screen now, we have a special guest this week. I'm your boy, it's Konkon, and sitting across from me, the man as always,
the one and only Jay Breezy.
Jay Breezy, and our guest this week.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
This is Westley.
Good.
That's
I think
cue.
the one and only. I think the one and only.
To introduce yourself.
That's your cue to tell the people who you are. Tell the people.
What's up, guys? I'm Westley. Appreciate you having me on. This is my first guest appearance on a podcast, so I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. We are just 2 dodos that spent money on things and put our voice on the internet. So,
well, I mean, you guys aren't the ones making me nervous. I just sometimes.
Oh,
it's
okay.
I'm
glad we got that out of the way.
I'm gonna be,
Low-key
I'm gonna say something dumb, and then 5 years, I'm gonna get announced that I finally get my franchise Batman movie that I'm going to be able to make. And then back in 2020, did you say it was socially acceptable to be swatting mosquitoes? And then I get completely canceled. So that's what I'm worried about. I'm more worried about myself.
It is an unfortunate fear in the world that we live in.
Yes. This is our first time. Wesley's coming to us from the other side of the country.
Yes.
We are cross-continental, coming straight from L.A.
He is in Beijing, China.
Rich and famous in L.A.
Yeah.
On this booming movie industry.
Guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You already know. Housekeeping, we will get through this quickly. Facebook.com/KonkonsCantina. Of course, we hope you are watching the show on YouTube.com/KonkonsCantina. Instagram @KonkonsCantina. If you would like to work with us and this Instagram, this podcast, or the Instagram, email us at konkonscantina@gmail.com. The Discord, we've been saying this weekly, and we will continue to say it weekly. Discord has turned into
scum of the earth.
Yeah, scum and villainy.
That's not it. Okay.
Discord has been awesome, guys. You can find a link to that in our link tree. How you can support this podcast. We are word of mouth, guys. We are still young. We are a young podcast, just over a year. liking and sharing. It is completely free, and that is how we are discovered the most. How else you can support us? 2 other ways. 1, 5-star reviews. That is what we seek. The reason for that is because Apple in particular, basically you give us a 5-star review because you like the show. It says, hey, you liked this podcast, check these guys out. It really does help the show. Also, we have our Patreon. Patreon is something special. It's not for everybody. Totally understand that. The $3 tier gets you access to pretty much everything. A exclusive channel in the Discord, discounts on the merch.
Tortilla sticker.
That's coming, of course. Discounts on merch, all that stuff.
New bumper sticker will be included.
Yes.
For free.
Yes.
Just give us all your money, and we'll give you a free sticker.
In the words of Jay Breezy, make us rich. Guys, the agenda of this episode. First time we've had a new guest in a while. So excited. Westley will be giving his Star Wars saga, where he will be telling us how he was introduced to Star Wars. This was like our favorite segment for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's just been a while since we've had somebody
COVID's
new.
kind of put a damper on bringing as many people in as we wanted to, but we also now, with our new board, we have the technology to bring people from afar in. And
we have the technology.
I am greatly looking forward to Westley as a film production insider. He's got some cool stories he's given me over the years.
He's met Sasha Banks.
Ran into Daisy Ridley at Starbucks and likes to just throw that in my face on the reg.
You know, bought a latte for Daisy, you know, just normal California stuff.
He has what's the girl with the toe thumbs?
Megan Fox?
Yeah, he has
listen, I
Megan
have a toe
Fox
thumb
gives
now.
him some studio lighting. He's like, just drops that in my...
And he's using it right now.
I'm using it right now, actually.
Now, did it come with the toe thumbs?
That's classified.
Look, I have a toe thumb now too because I cut the tip of my thumb off, so I'm allowed to speak upon the toe thumb people.
Yeah.
After that, of course, the reason why you are here, the Mandalorian recap. After that, of course, we'll be getting into the Cantina listening posts where your voices are heard from our Patreon listeners and our other listening lines.
I just silent burped, and then I immediately realized that Niles is going to cut that out.
He's just watching and waiting now. Yeah,
waiting for me to
waiting
silent
for you
burp
to
on
burp.
camera again.
Of course. And then
Son of a bee.
News. Now, we feel, you know, these episodes have been going long. There will be an additional episode coming out for the news section. And the reason for that, check out our YouTube. We had a session with our Patreon members the other day where we talked about all the amazing Star Wars Lucasfilm stuff that was announced.
That
Bombshells were dropped. Tons of new Star Wars stuff. So we will not be talking about that in this episode because that whole Investor Day needs an entire episode.
Yeah, it needs dedicated time.
All in its own.
That was crazy.
It's super crazy.
Yeah, that was like obviously not this episode, but that was definitely shockwaves throughout the whole industry.
That, you know, Disney announced like in May or June of this year that, you know, they were like, look, we're going to take a step back from our parks and we are going full into digital media. They saw how the landscape was paving. They knew that COVID was here to stay for a while and came out. So their only competition is going to be Netflix.
Yeah, because we're primarily talking about Star Wars, but even all the Marvel news
and the Disney news
and like the standard just Disney, like Swiss Family Robinson,
dude, tons of stuff. Once again, whole
Mighty
episode,
Ducks.
Mighty Ducks,
yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like right now. Again, I don't want to go off into another tangent, but Star Wars and then Mighty Ducks. That's all I care about.
Yeah, right below it.
Bombay forever.
We are.
Bombay forever.
We are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina right now.
Welcome to Konkon's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
This week, Justin, me and you were drinking the same thing.
Yes, we are.
And thankfully, as you talk off mic,
Sorry. Mosquitoes are tearing me up this morning.
You blessed me with this beer.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed thou be this cake haze.
Haze Cake.
Yes.
Haze Cake by Clown Shoes. This is a hazy double IPA, a 9%er, which I just read, and that is why the first one...
Oof.
Granted, we're recording in the morning. Wesley, it's even earlier for him.
Hang on. We don't have a problem. To clarify, it is almost 1 in the afternoon. You said...
I guess I got up and I left early.
Okay, yeah,
so
there we
had
go.
other
Yeah.
stuff, Well, I do have a problem.
Well, you know.
That's neither here nor there.
That's a different podcast.
This is, though, a fantastic hazy IPA. I probably should stop drinking so many hazy IPAs because I like them so much.
It depends on what our kidneys are feeling that day.
Yeah. This has got mosaic hops, centennial hops, and citra hops all together, and it meshes very nice with a kind of sweet flavor I would say that their normal one has. But this hazy IPA, you poured it out right there in your glass.
Yes.
Nice amber color. Nice hazy look to it. I
Let Westley see it, too.
absolutely love this beer. It's also the cool thing. This is a clown shoes beer. I don't know if I said that. You said personally
that looks like a bad hangover waiting to happen for me.
Yeah.
You said clown shoes didn't hit home for you on many of their beers. This is the first clown shoes I've had. I strictly bought it as a kind of like a dodo. I just buy things by the label.
Let's
sometimes.
be honest. You see something that says haze.
If it says hazy, and like this artwork, I'll show it to Wesley. It's got like a full comic book,
superhero
hand drawn art. It's got like frames and everything in it. That is 100% why I bought this, based off of the label and the style, and I definitely would buy it again.
Yeah.
And see, kids, that is the lesson of the power of graphic design.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. And we like to collect the stickers too. Like we peel the art off the cans and stick it on stuff. A new trick Justin learned.
What do you got to say about it?
It is.
What are you feeling?
It's good. The flavor profile. Oh no, we're getting into something.
I'm not trying to distract you by any means.
Yeah, you're distracting me already. This is super good. It's definitely above middle of the road. I'm gonna go. We've never given a half score. Look, if there was a really short Mando, like a kid Mando, born in the covert, okay, all he has is his little Beskar steel helmet that
Child
he's gonna,
alcoholic.
Yeah,
Got it.
and he's gonna grow out of that helmet like a hermit crab.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we're gonna have to make him a new helmet. This is a 6.5. 6.5 Mandos.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, not a 7. But
Before
yeah.
we get into this box,
Oh,
Wesley, what you got going?
Well, I have 2 drinks going on. It is, like I said, it is pretty early in Los Angeles. So I have some espresso.
Ooh.
And
There's no X
and
in
then
espresso. Shout out to Niles.
I just some Casamigos.
I do like Casamigos.
Yeah, I actually give a shout out to Mr. Clooney for hooking me up with this bottle.
Oh my God!
So,
Here he goes again.
Here we go.
Yeah, Mr. Clooney up at the Walgreens, he let me use this coupon that was expired. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was too perfect.
So,
Why haven't we had you on
Wesley gets it.
before?
All right, this is for
so
cheers.
cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hit
take a
that. Oh
sip
man,
of
that,
my-
ooh,
sip of my beer.
that's a big swig, my dude. Woo.
Oh, it's smooth.
This
Hey,
one.
No,
look,
just kidding.
it is the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Saturday.
Counts.
Yeah.
It counts. Yeah, let's do
fine.
it.
So this is a box that arrived at my house with a sheet of mysterious instructions that said for Connor to open live on the air
Oh,
during
no.
the Cantina segment.
Okay,
I'm gonna give this to him.
I'm very concerned. Is this? Oh wait. Let me get some. It has no information on the shipping label. I was really hoping.
Blacked out the shipping information.
For our audio listeners only, talking to you, Rule Farm Boy. Thank you for your support. I am currently opening a package that was given to me as
I can tell you what state it came from.
Louisiana.
Yes.
Okay. Is this from Dylan?
I don't know. It came from Louisiana.
Okay. Dude, no. I have to function today.
What is it?
Who did there's 2 of them in here. So this is your ass too. This ain't just mine. You son of a mother. I just got iced. I just got iced on air.
I haven't seen one of those.
This is
since
all
I
you,
was Sanford.
dude. There's no. Listen, I have an anniversary party to go to.
I don't know if I can drink all of this in one shot. I have to take a knee and drink the whole thing, like legit.
Okay, let's make a pact right now.
Okay.
Do we do this in a video later? Because we have a responsibility to the people. If I down this whole thing, there is no telling where this show goes.
I'm downing mine. I'm not gonna take a knee because that would be too awkward to do off air.
You knew what it was. You have a bottle opener in your pocket.
Okay, I didn't know what it was. I'm taking a virtual knee.
Okay. Dude, I can't down this. I will die. I have to do things today.
This is a lot. Good God, this is it's a liter of pain. A liter of... oh my God, this is me so...
all the Nile stuff.
This is disgusting.
This is so bad.
I don't think I've seen Smirnoff Ice since I left Sanford back in like 4 years ago.
Oh, this is not good. Who did this to me? Was this Dylan?
It was Dylan.
Son of a mother. Dylan, you son of a motherless goat. I will find you. I will dress you up like a seal, and I will throw you in an orca tank. Okay?
Oh, this is painful to do.
This is disgusting. This is so bad. Do people actually enjoy this?
I think that he's getting quite a lot of enjoyment right now.
I mean, probably. Okay, oh gosh.
Just believe in yourself. That's what I always say.
You know what? He likes those Cayman margarita things. This is like directly... I don't know how you're doing this. I'm bending the rules. I have to pace myself. We have to get through this episode, and that will make me sick to my stomach if I drink that whole thing. I'm already dying. I'm dying. Get that away from me. I'll finish it.
I
Okay.
threw up in my mouth.
Okay.
My eyes are literally watering.
We need to get back on topic. People are turning off. They're taking the earbuds out of their ears. They're turning off the podcast. They're moving on to the next one.
This is going to be so much material for Niles.
Wesley.
What's up?
Star Wars Saga.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are of our generation, so most likely... I'm not going to steal your content. Tell us how you got introduced into Star Wars.
So I was out to dinner with George Lucas.
All right. So, I'm going to say I was 6 years old, and a dear man that me and both Justin know, Mike McCall, lent me his VHS tapes of it was the Fox VHS tapes. Okay. It wasn't the special edition.
Good, yes.
And I remember we had like a family night, and we watched all 3 movies in one night. And it was the first time I ever watched it. I was like 6 years old. But I think what really hooked me was the scene where Luke is looking off into the distance of the sunset, and you hear John Williams. You hear John Williams, "May the Force be with you." Those three notes that just, when I heard that, it just resonated something in my soul. It was like a bell that could not be unrung, and I was hooked forever.
That is single-handedly, as I'm trying not to die. I almost can't talk. That when I hear Binary Suns, that song chokes me up every single time. Like, even when the best part is, my favorite is when Luke's on Tatooine. Oh my God, Dylan, I'm gonna murder you. My favorite part is, Luke on Tatooine with the Binary Suns. My next favorite, where we hear that song, because we hear it multiple times in Star Wars, but when Rey is calling the Skywalker saber to her, and we get that new John Williams, and it's like a lot more grand, it's like more of the orchestra.
Full complement of the orchestra.
Exactly. It's not just the 3 notes, as Wes was saying, that part. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. That's just basically it. It was because, that was in the first act when that still happened, because he still wasn't being called to action, and he was just looking out. And when I heard those few notes, I was just like, that is beautiful. And that's what made me fall in love with the characters, the story arc, and still to this day, I think that's my biggest memory of the impact of what Star Wars had on my young psyche. And then that also having a lightsaber duel with Darth Chucky. Justin knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
But yeah, and then probably the second biggest thing too, honestly, and I don't care what anybody says, Phantom Menace is a great movie.
Yes, it is.
And it's I think it's I would my personal opinion, it's number 4 of the best movies.
Okay.
And
what's your number 1?
It's Empire.
Okay, there we go.
It's Empire specifically because it was a proper film.
Empire is my number 1 also.
It was just the cinematography. There's a specific shot. I just watched it a few weeks ago. There's a specific shot. Yeah. And it's an obscure shot, and it really has nothing to do with the story. But it's Leia is worried about Han and Luke being out, trapped out, and there's this obscure shot of C-3PO in the back looking at Leia, and it's just some perfect dimensions. I mean, it was just perfectly set. The shot was perfectly composed. It was nothing like huge, but I was just like, wow, they took the time to actually make a great shot. It wasn't just, about special effects. It was like they captured this emotionless android perfectly, and you saw the emotion on this emotionless android's face. It was that particular shot. It was just like, wow, this is a proper film.
That's something that I like about Mandalorian is you take C-3PO, you take Din Djarin. They don't have facial expressions that can move.
Yeah, they can't emote with their face.
But there's so much about their body movement, and that scene in particular, it's kind of like focused on Leia, but you get C-3PO, you understand that he realizes that she's worried, so he's worried.
Yeah, he kind of does a pause, like he's moving and pauses.
It's the same thing like with Mando is you never see Din's face hardly ever, which spoiler, we will in this episode, but he does so much with the head movements, and that's so much in directing, to your point of it being a really good film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good.
Personally, it's my favorite too because the movie doesn't follow necessarily like the traditional what needs to make a movie. Like the whole movie's a downer, and then it ends in a negative. Like there's no like giant act 3 like come to the rescue and save and everything works out. The movie ends like all your heroes are downtrodden. Yeah, that's like one of my favorites.
It really was almost, I don't want to say Shakespearean, but it was definitely Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
It was...
definitely, I mean, the father reveal, that's total Greek.
It was A New Hope was amazing. And I personally, even though it was kind of corny, I still loved, Return of the Jedi, but, just Empire. It could have been a play without the the lightsabers and the blasters. It could have been with swords and men dressed up in like pantaloons and on stage, and I'd still be like, yo, this is dope.
It is. Reminder, use that coupon code KONKONS. That's KONKONS at checkout for 10% off. You can get dope shirts like this that you just saw in that ad, of course.
Yes.
And Clay, one of our Facebook members, he went on there. He had purchased some stuff a couple of weeks ago for their Black Friday and their Cyber Monday ad. So guys, once again, support the people who support us.
And
Super
we're
important.
also sending Tatooine Traders Co. a kind of a bundle of a whole bunch of stickers and stuff. So if you use that promo card or promo code, not card.
Yeah.
We're going to include some more stickers and stuff, so you'll get some Konkon's Cantina swag with your shirt purchase.
Tortilla stickers, what can we say? We appreciate it.
Get it.
Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 15. The moment you've been waiting for. We are going to get into this recap right now. The name of this episode, The Believer.
Chapter 15.
Wes, I know you've got some hot takes for this episode.
I do.
Off the top of your head, I'm putting you on the spot. What is your interpretation of this episode being entitled "The Believer"?
Justin
it's obvious.
Bieber.
Are we talking? We're allowed to use spoilers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Spoiler warning,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah,
if you have not seen this episode,
Don't listen if you
don't
haven't.
listen.
From the when they're strategizing about how to get into the compound, the mining compounds, all the way to like the last scene of him sitting a hologram to Moff.
Gideon.
Moff, I keep calling Miss Moffat because I had a third grade teacher named Miss Moffat.
Hey, it's Miss Moffat from now on. It's Chubbs and Miss Moffat.
Beef Carga.
Beef Carga. Yeah.
There's a specific scene where I really love Billy Burr, and he's
You do.
Where he's talking.
Don't call
about,
him Billy Burr because I feel like that means you hang out with him. This guy.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying there's a scene where he's basically talking about what's blurring the line. Why are you wearing the helmet?
Yes.
Hide your face, or to act? It's just the act of wearing the helmet. And he's like, everybody has their lines until things get messy.
Yep.
And that line was basically saying, hey, what's more important, your religious take, your devotion to your religion, or the kid? And the Mando definitely had to make a decision, split second, real quick, and we find out exactly where his priorities
His priorities,
were.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's similar to my take on why this is called The Believer, because this one, to me, it's almost like this title was left up to interpretation.
Yeah, definitely. This is a lot more divisive than other titles like The Tragedy. Like, obviously, the child is taken. Mm-hmm. This is like...
The Passenger. We know that it was Frog Lady. This one is really, Bill Burr was picked up, Mayfeld was picked up from, this prison that he was on, this labor camp. And... he wasn't obviously Mando's biggest fan. Westley just took another sip of that tequila and he almost died. But no, I'm just kidding. And yeah, it's like you said, especially, and I'm not a big Bill Burr fan, not because of his comedy. I'm not a big Bill fan because of Billy and what his take was to coming on to Star Wars. He kind of mocked Star Wars. He's like, what the hell is Star Wars? And it's like, dude, come on. You know what Star Wars is. Like, not everything is a skit. Right? You don't always have to be funny. And I understand, like, dude's a stand-up comedian, right? Pretty much everything he says is funny. But he kind of mocked Star Wars, and that rubbed me the wrong way because, I mean, this is the role of a lifetime. Dude, I'll be an extra. Like, you put my weird thumb in the movie, right? Like, I will be any part of Star Wars. So to kind of have somebody mock it was a little bit odd for me. But yeah, my thoughts is that he becomes the believer of Mando. He understands that he'll do anything for the kid.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same path. I honestly didn't think too heavy about the title until we're talking about it right now. But it is... Go ahead, Wesley.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I just think that, with his character, he's definitely... The writers are definitely purposely bringing his version of, nihilistic, politics into... his material into the script, because he's like, what's the difference between the Empire? What's the difference between the New Republic? At the end of the day, someone's rolling somebody, right? You can hear him saying that on his stand-up routine. I guess I can literally see him on Conan, like Conan O'Brien. I don't know Conan.
If he uses first name basis, he knows them and he's had lunch with them. If it's last name, we're still learning.
I can see him saying like the same exact thing between like, what's going on in the political landscape now. He's very nihilistic in his approach to things. And so, definitely, man, this tequila, I lost my thought. It was going to be a good one though. Sorry.
I just told Justin, I was like, look, Wesley's going to be up here in this area. So we're going to be like this. That's where we're gonna put you in spirit, guys. We're gonna get into this recap right now. A transport ship flies above a junkyard. Mayfeld is given new orders to salute Marshall Dune, as Cara Dune's character comes on screen.
TIE fighter junkyard with another repurposed AT-AT, which was a cool little just background shot.
Mayfeld is told by Cara that she has a job for him. Cara then leads Mayfeld to the Slave One. Boba Fett walks out and scares Mayfeld into thinking that he is the Mandalorian that he knows.
How are we feeling about Boba's repainted armor? Fresh and clean.
Why you gotta get some controversy right out the gate?
How are we feeling? Because I know how you're feeling, and I think that I like it.
Okay, this is what makes me sound toxic, and I don't want to sound toxic. It doesn't look like...
I like toxicity.
You like a little bit?
It's a good system of a down song.
You like... It doesn't... of our safety. It doesn't look like it's the right green. But I will say that he walks out and he looks way more complete. It looks more natural. With the repainting, it does look better than it did before. But the green just looks off to me.
This looks different to you.
It's way too dark.
One of the things you and I were talking about, in between Empire and Return of the Jedi...
He changes.
His armor changed.
Yeah.
So my little headcanon that you make this not be an issue that's a point of contention is... He just took a sip of Smirnoff Ice, and it startled him.
It went down the wrong pipe.
But the thing that made it sense, between Empire and between Jedi, his armor is different color palettes.
Mm-hmm.
So this just makes me think this is like a universal thing. Like, he went to the local... hardware store, Ace Hardware, whatever you want to call it.
Mando lobby.
What's the closest thing to his red, his yellow, and his green?
Yeah.
He buys a bottle and he rattle cans his armor just so it's not all mix-matched, damaged, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like an exact paint code like you're painting a car. He's just got like, I want like a military-looking green, a burgundy-ish red, and a mustardish-y yellow, and that's it.
I totally get it. He looked way more complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that you still see like the texture of all the damage underneath it. And he didn't take the time to sand anything. It's just like
and
sprays right over all the garbage underneath and doesn't even care.
The thing that I pointed out to you is he's standing there with his E-33 blaster, which is my favorite aspect of Boba Fett. That rifle that he holds is a repeater rifle, so it's a burst rifle. It'll do 3 shots, like an M16. And he's standing there, and we didn't see that in the first episode. Now he's got his Slave 1. He's got his armor back. He is Boba again.
Yep,
to me,
he's back.
Yeah, it was super, super cool.
He back.
I loved in Slave 1 when they first got in.
Yeah.
And you saw like the insides gyrating to
yes.
Like I thought that was an interesting production design aspect of it. I was like, okay, cool. That it kind of gives you like a feel for, because like George Lucas always says he wants everything a button to have a purpose. So I kind of thought that was cool that, now you see how he gets into position to make Slave 1, actually
I feel like
upright.
I have to go get the toy so I can show everybody like my theory.
It's funny you said that, Wesley, because I watched it on my phone for the first time. I'll turn this so you can see me. I watched it on my phone for the first time, and because also I have to now watch this at 4:30 in the morning because my freaking brother-in-law likes to spoil things for me, so I have to watch it earlier than him. But on my phone, I couldn't catch the background scene of it spinning around. And when we watch it on this, it made it so much like better to see working tech in Slave 1, because it famously, the cockpit isn't in the rotating part. The cockpit is like, you see Boba and you see Jango, they're laying on their back when it's landed and he's getting ready to take off. But the whole cargo hold is like on like a gyro.
Is it though? Is it though? Is it? Okay.
Okay, so check this out.
Okay.
All right, so audio listeners, I am holding a toy of Slave 1. And the reason why this is important, the wings on Slave 1, right, they move. So when he's taking off from his back position, as he is going up, the wings rotate. And if you look, I'm letting Wesley see, these are on this whole circle apparatus.
There's a whole sphere.
Gotcha.
There's a whole sphere. And with my theory is, as these are turning, so this is seated, and as it's rising, it does this.
The whole sphere is turning with it.
Yeah, so...
Gotcha.
That was an amazing detail, and I'm so glad that you called that out, Wes.
It's literally built into the ship, and I have just looked past it in the design. I've been alive 35 years, and Star Wars has existed since before I was alive. I have played with countless Slave 1 toys. That little sphere, I just kind of dismissed as part of a, design, because it's painted a different color. It's separated 100%. Like, now that you see it functioning, like, it's immediate, like, oh my God, it actually is functional. It works.
And you'll notice in the end part of the episode, too, the cockpit is separated. The glass is separated into 2 parts. The upper part is the cockpit. So you can actually see in the episode, because when he's taking off with Mayfeld, and Mayfeld takes that amazing sniper shot, the top part is the cockpit, which always stays in the right position, which is the up position.
Like he's in an Apollo 13 rocket ship, like taking off, laying on
Well, that's one thing I kind of liked about it, because it was always like when he's like taking off, because you always see that in the movies. It was very realistic to like what NASA is like, But I also thought it was interesting too, because they never, unless I'm correct me if I'm wrong, they never really addressed like the whole anti-gravity in ships type thing in Star Wars, like what makes them stay, when they're in outer space, what makes them stay.
In Clone Wars, not in the movies, but in Clone Wars, they talk about anti-grav type stuff.
Gotcha. I was just thinking, like, if like all ships had kind of like that gyro, almost like a gimbal type of aspect, maybe exactly. That was, it was always maybe like a gyrating or whatever. What do you want to call it while it's in space, and that's what's causing the anti-grav. That was just like a thing in my head.
Mayfeld says, quote, "Oh, for a second I thought you were the other guy." Do you like that?
Bill Burr, I'll make the statement now. He got some actual like laugh out loud chuckles to myself while watching this throughout the entire episode, and I greatly liked the character more this time than I did in The Prisoner.
I will say, and I said this in the Discord, I was like,
He brought good humor.
at first I didn't care for it, and I needed to watch the episode again. And watching it a second time and a third time really did help.
You burping?
That stupid Smirnoff, dude. Oh my gosh. It helped watching it multiple times with Bill. Continuing with the recap. Mando then walks down from the Slave One. Kara explains that they need him for a job because he's ex-Imperial. Mayfeld reluctantly boards... Mayfeld reluctantly boards the Slave One. Kara explains to him that they are after the Empire because they have stolen the child. Mayfeld says, You're little green guy? Yeah, the little green guy. Of course, referencing Grogu, Baby Yoda.
This is a little hole in the plot. Did Mayfeld ever see him?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah,
Because he was
remember
hidden. He was hidden in the ship because Zero never saw...
No, Mayfeld, Zero doesn't see him because he's in the cockpit. They're in the hangar bay, and he starts fighting
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, he starts fighting with, I can't remember the species, the big red guy. And Mando accidentally bumps into the door that opens it, and then they see Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
he's like, what's
okay.
that? Is that your pet?
Yes.
What is this? Wait, did you two make that?
Yes. See, now I'm liking you more and more.
Listen.
He's funny.
Okay.
Oh, Billy.
Another thing, I remember what I was about to say about Bill Burr now. 15 minutes later, it's kind of in reference to what you said a few episodes ago on your podcast about the Imperial pilots having an American accent, not a British accent. We're getting different accents, and this is like the first time I feel like we're getting more Earth-sounding accents.
Yeah.
It's usually like the traditional like transatlantic accent, that was made famous in the 40s in the golden age of Hollywood, or British accents.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny. You have a guy from Camden, Massachusetts now. Is like,
yeah.
I just felt like he was gonna any second he's gonna drop. Oh, we got space co-ops over here.
Yeah.
It's just like,
are you a space co-op?
Yeah. Is this your space car? Yeah, I like that too. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if I like it. It's just different. It's just like it's interesting. It's bringing a kind of a strange, no pun intended, accent to the new universe.
It's worldly.
Yeah.
It's worldly. It's not Star Wars. And they actually address this in the first Thrawn trilogy. So there's a guy that's assigned to Thrawn that speaks the language that Thrawn speaks, and he has a country accent.
He's from Wild Space.
And the canon explanation as to people that don't have this Corellian, this inner core British accent that we've seen in Star Wars, like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, you're either American or you're British for the most part. And if you're not, like you're from Wild Space and you are
the Outer Rim,
and you have like a
country
draw when you speak.
And Bill could be the same. The Mayfeld could be the same. That same idea. Once again, they explain to him that because he understands his Imperial protocols, that they need him to fill out this job. To get the info they seek, Mayfeld explains that he needs to get access to an Imperial terminal. He says there's one on Morak. So now Mando and their team know exactly where they need to go. Quote, "It's secretly an Imperial mining hub. If you get me in there, I will get the coordinates." End quote from Bill Burr Mayfeld.
Billy B.
The team figures out that they are mining rhydonium. Did I say it right?
Yeah, no, I'm laughing at Billy B.
Billy B. Billy B. Shout outs to Billy B. He's totally going to see this episode, and he's going to love every second of it. They figure out that they are mining rhydonium on Morak. Boba also points out that because of the anti-air, that they will need to go in quiet. So they can't just fly in with the Slave One, even though we've talked about multiple times. Slave One is fully outfitted with a ton of stuff that can just, easily deal with everything that would be on this planet. They could really just cause some damage, but they're going to do this the smart way.
They got anti-air specifically set up.
The team lands on the outskirts and scouts the operation. After pointing out that they have recognized that they will be recognized by the Empire, except Mando. Mando is the one that will go and follow Mayfeld into this operation to get into the base.
He's the only one that doesn't, because one of the things they reference is they have facial scan technology.
Genetic scan.
Genetic scan, sorry, yes.
Yep.
And Boba, one of my favorite lines, is like, let's just say they'll recognize my face.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes!
Total Clone Wars reference. Obviously, the Empire has seen clones before, because it's now canon in the Darth Vader book, or the Darth Vader comic, that the Empire did continue to use clones for a short period of time.
Yeah, in between the transition from Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers.
Yep.
Before they were phased out.
Yeah, and they finally phased them out. So obviously, he's going to show up on this ISB registry.
Yeah.
The
exact
Imperial
same genetic
Security
material.
Bureau is
As
what it was
millions
explained.
of troopers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fennec can't do it. And Kara obviously can't do it. She's
Rebel.
a known rebel
Drop trooper. Yeah. Team Mando storms a juggernaut. Mayfeld and Mando steal the tank trooper's armor to continue their mission. Mayfeld continues to banter back and forth with Mando on their way to this Imperial outpost.
Find it, before we just like jump into this, I find it very odd how quick, this is kind of going along with the same thing Wesley said, Mando's willing to bend his rules and immediately change into different armor. Because, I don't know, like the whole thing, like his Beskar is everything, is kind of the way it makes it seem. If it wasn't his Beskar, his previous armor, it's Mandalorian armor. And he's so quick to when it comes to the child, which this is kind of what we wanted in the last episode, where we said he seemed to kind of be in so much shock that it was like, oh, well, the kid's gone.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of in that frantic, like, I don't care. I'll bend. I'll do what I need to get to him and rescue him.
But I like what you said last episode, which was shock.
Yeah.
He was in shock. You know, he doesn't know what to do. And exactly to Wesley's point is, you know, and we can let's just summarize this whole troop export as a whole, right? There's a lot of banter that's exchanged. And one thing that you specifically said is he says, you know, what is it? Is it the Mandalorian helmet, or is it you got to cover your face? Because they're two totally different things.
Yep.
Why do I sound just like Billy B? Just putting that out there. No, I'm just kidding. But that's exactly what he says. You know, he actually says a lot of things. You know, he kind of gives...
and it makes sense. The things he say all make sense. It's not like he's arguing just to be an a-hole. He's completely making sense with him.
This is something that I'm just now realizing, and this is going to be so great. Shout outs to all you Last Jedi haters, because I'm about to trigger you so hard, and I love that. This is totally a DJ move. Remember when DJ is explaining to Poe or to Finn, he's like, "Look, good guys, bad guys, they're all the same." And he's explaining because the ship that they stole in Last Jedi, he sold not only weapons to the First Order, but he sold weapons to
and they're making him realize
Resistance.
You're not a good guy or a bad guy because you make this product. Yeah.
And that's when Billy B says in the episode, he says, you know, somebody's got to rule over somebody, whether it be the Empire, the New Republic, who's really winning. And later in the episode, you know, Billy makes basically his ideas of oppression, no matter, quote, good or bad. He clearly just doesn't like any oppression at all. But there was some cool moments. Bill Burr, I think, did a really good job of acting in this scene, something that I wouldn't have expected. You know,
and he brought good comedy to this episode, which The Mandalorian so far hasn't had a ton of comedy, which is a huge part of Star Wars. Sometimes it can be a little over the top, campy comedian type of moments, but a lot of the times it's leaned on the droids to bring the comedy. In Star Wars, we don't have like the droids like this. Bill Burr brought a lot of good comedic moments into this. Like one of my favorite ones in this scene is when they're all suiting up in this tank armor.
Yes.
I took this almost as a nod to cosplay and trooping, because he says, "Oh, this guy reeked. His gloves are still wet." And there's one thing, you know, like if you wear like Star Wars armor, whether it's a 501st and you're a trooper, or you're a merc and it's Mandalorian armor, it is so hot and nasty and sweaty, even in air conditioning.
Cosplaying is one of the worst experiences because you're covering up a lot of the things that excrete heat. You have gloves on, your hands will get rid of heat, the top of your head is getting rid of heat. So if you're wearing even a hat now or a bucket, you know, helmet, armor, you're trapping in heat, and your feet. You're covering up your feet with socks, boots, all this stuff.
And it's never one layer. You're like multiple layers upon layers upon layers to get the right look. Yeah. So like I kind of found that as like, I would imagine that's almost a like what's the word? Not a impromptu. What's the word when they like just say something off the cuff?
Improvisational.
Yeah, like an improvisational line that he just like threw out there.
Oh, this guy reeks.
What? that's one thing I was curious about, because it's like, especially, well, I'm sure you're going to get into that part, but like, is there like a coolant system? Is there ever they ever talk about it? Because like, you know, in other type of like whether it's Gungan or Iron Man, they tend to have like some type of coolant system, like jet fighters. I'm just curious if there's ever been said like in Mandalorian.
I know
in
that
real life,
helmets
real
are
life versus
are you talking
cosplay?
real life or in
Like,
Star Wars?
No, I'm talking about like the actual storyline.
So in storyline, helmets are vacuum sealed. So you can hear this also in Mandalorian Season 1 when IG-88 takes off his helmet. It goes that...
IG-11.
IG-11, thank you. And same thing with Vader in Empire when Piet... It's not Piet, it's... Anyway, the other guy, he goes to him to tell Lord Vader that they found the rebels. When they lower the helmet and it goes...
I'm glad you said that, because I have a big criticism now. A huge criticism on this episode. So, well, no, we'll get to the part.
Oh, we'll get to it.
I guess we are talking about it. We're talking about them changing into the...
Yep.
Okay.
Armor.
Here's the... Vader had a specific voice because of his armor. Stormtroopers have a specific voice because of their armor. Mando has a very signature, obviously recognizable, but when he put on the Stormtroopers, he still sounded like he had the Mando helmet on. And I almost threw something at the TV. It annoyed me so much. That was a sound design nightmare. I was just like, who was the sound designer on this? That angered me. That was a good shot. I went straight into my cup.
I get it. If we get technical about it, I mean, we want to hear Pedro's voice, right? Like, there's the rumors.
It still would have been Pedro's voice, but it would have been into the microphone vocoder auto-tune thing that's coming out of a Stormtrooper's helmet, not his particular Beskar helmet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I think that was an oversight on the sound department, and I'm gonna have a talk with them.
Listen, just write a letter, strongly worded letter. Ask them to lunch first. You'll get them a nice chicken Caesar salad.
Send them a resume.
Listen, and then get hired on for season 3 of Mando, because they haven't started filming yet. Okay.
Hey, I mean they're hiring everybody right now, so I might as well.
Disney has to be hiring
Wesley,
everybody.
Make all of our dreams come true and get on a production of a Star Wars film, and
then invite me to be Mando's third cousin he didn't know about. I'm also a foundling. Just throwing that out there.
I'm one of those. I'd probably get fired first day. I'd get fired first day.
Listen,
I would
tell Pedro he can take his helmet off.
I would be pants guy number 2. I'll be the guy. Honestly,
Gene guy. You're Gene guy too.
Whether it's an accident or on purpose, I'm not sure. Probably a little bit both.
You'll do. No, you're long hair guy. He's long hair guy.
Walking around in Google glasses.
Yeah, you just see the kind of like the side of his ear with his long hair, and it's just long hair guy. Now it's Gene guy and long hair guy.
If you watch Lifetime movies from 2018 to 2019, you'll probably see a long hair guy that's messing up a shot in some of those movies, and that's probably me. I've messed up a few shots in Lifetime films in my day.
Well, they still used them though, because the budget was limited.
And I never got paid for my extra work on Lifetime movies. So,
I want to be an extra.
Wesley plays creepy homeless guy in every movie he's been in.
I played on one. I don't know if it was Killer in the Red Dress or Red Dress Killer. They're all the same movie. I played a stalking paparazzi guy.
There it is.
And I've never seen the movie. Supposedly I'm in it. So
Wesley's Jack Sparrow cosplayer in background.
Bill.
It was this side note. It was the girl that played the Yellow Ranger. She was making coffee, and I played the paparazzi guy that came into her house to take pictures of her, and then I got ran off, and that was my Lifetime debut.
That was
like
real
it.
life,
Anyway,
actually.
sorry.
It wasn't even no.
He's like, I just want some coffee.
Yeah. As Mando and Mayfield pass through the native village. Field.
Can't have a podcast and say the name wrong.
It is what it is. He
Beef
doesn't
Karga.
care. Beef Karga. As Mayfeld and Mando pass through the native village, Mando locks eyes with a native boy. Then, over the comms, they hear that other juggernauts are being attacked and destroyed. Pirates board the juggernaut that Mando and Mayfield are driving. Mando climbs out the back and begins to fight off the first set of attackers. Of course, more show up. Mm-hmm. What is their goal? To use thermal detonators And we talked about this a little bit off air. The whole point of this is we're saying that these are natives trying to get the Empire off their planet.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe we got, because these are also a brand new species, and
Yeah.
they have like these cool. Montrails is the only Leku Montrail, whatever you want to call them. They're like, but they're kind of stuck tight to their head.
Yeah.
Almost like a
Like off the cheek or the
like,
jawline.
almost like dreadlocks or like.
Are we talking
braided-
about the pirates?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys.
I have a criticism if I can interject.
Send
Enter
it.
it.
Do we really need to see a new species every single episode? It's getting to the point where it's kind of having this feel of like a sci-fi original.
It's funny that you say that, because do you know Honda Anakis, the pirate from Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, this would have been like the coolest, and we've talked about this. We don't want this to be cameo hour, but imagine if we got
Hondo's trying to
Hondo and his crew trying
if they just
to do
left
this.
him, if they left him unnamed, but you heard his distinct voice and accent as he's leading.
Get the Juggernaut! Like,
Yeah.
Get
Get the Rhydonium!
Get the Rhydonium! Oh, hey, look at the something.
Yeah. That
yeah.
would've been
But that's another thing I have a criticism on this show is that on this particular episode, it's like they call them pirates, right?
Yeah.
But pirates steal stuff. Obviously, they're trying to sabotage it. So, like, which one is it? Because, like, I mean, you had
Yeah,
Bill
they're
Burr
not
doing
stealing.
his...
They're just trying to destroy.
I think it can go. I think it can go both ways, though. I think it can go both ways. I don't know if there's a way that you steal that Rhydonium. I think once it's harvested, it's kind of like, your choice is to destroy it or not.
Well,
I mean,
when they were having that, it's what it seemed like a 40-minute scene of them driving.
it
at,
did seem a
5
little
miles an
drawn
hour.
out.
It
Yeah.
was a little drawn out for sure.
Mando made eye contact with the little kid, and they were all humanoid. They're humans,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when Bill Burr said, someone's got to be ruling somebody.
Yeah.
But then the pirates came, and they obviously weren't part of that village.
Same-
So
yeah.
they were off-worlders from what I gathered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're pirates. I'm like, okay, they're trying to steal stuff, but then they're trying to. I don't know. It was a little sloppy writing. I feel.
Yeah,
It was a little distracting.
Well, and I think there's two main points. I wish Troy would have called in. I can't remember if I told him to call in, but me and Troy talked about this too. Did he just freeze? He did. Oh, wait. He's coming back.
What? Wow. Wi-Fi problems.
Shout outs to FaceTime.
Hello?
There he
you are.
is. There he is. Troy talked about this, which he was basically saying that the only reason that they threw this scene in was to have like this altercation where we can see that he's able to fight without his Beskar and he's able to use a spear, because a final confrontation between the two, Moff Gideon and Mando, could end up with obviously Mando fighting with this Beskar steel, this spear.
They're showing his melee skills.
I think we got Westley back.
I'm back.
Okay, good. So basically
For the
what I
very
was
first
saying
time.
is like you were saying, it was drawn out, and the purpose of that scene was to show that Mando can, one, fight without his Beskar, which is pretty important, and
because
also
he's done
that
so many sloth moments where he's just like taking shots.
Yeah.
Without care to skill.
without care.
Yeah.
But here we get an in-depth thing of he's a trained fighter. He really can hold his own. I mean, he fought off a lot of people. This was like 1 to 10 odds the whole time, and he handled it pretty gracefully. Although we do get to a point where the Rhydonium is about to explode.
we get like
Mayfeld.
4 more of those John boat skiffs coming in.
The John boat skiff is such a great call for you,
Like,
because
that's what it looks like. They're like an old, like rickety John boat, and they have like a big old engine strapped onto the side of it.
big old bantha lips.
Big old bantha lip engine on the side of it.
Listen, getting it just and it even has the John boat like with the single engine with the throttle that you turn.
Yeah.
It reminded me too. We were talking about this. It's like a miniature version of what they did in Rise of Skywalker and the skiffs that we see in Return of the Jedi.
And they all start priming their thermal detonators. And you made the reference. Of
hang on. Let's get to that. So he fights off one wave. Then Mando fights off a second wave. There's also a scene where Mando, he puts up his arms like this, right? In the cross, just like he did against Ahsoka.
Uh-huh.
So he's used to
That's
this.
one arm over the other for audio listeners.
Yes, he's used to this
block.
to block, and it shatters
It's
his
like-
Imperial
it's like, oh,
gauntlets.
That's why this stuff sucks.
And it like there's like a moment where like Mando's kind of hurt, like you see that it caused him physical pain, and
Instinctive. He used his like instinctive training, like it was a muscle memory. Like his Beskar takes this.
Yeah.
Imperial armor does not.
And I would have enjoyed this episode. I did enjoy the episode. I would have enjoyed it more if it wasn't the 7th episode. But to give a little bit of critique, once again, we can't always call our child perfect. The fight scenes on top of the Juggernaut seemed a little Last Jedi throne roomy.
Seemed too drawn out. Was
very
my biggest.
Slow. And we've talked about this multiple times with the Obi-Wan Darth Maul fights from Phantom Menace. Is Ray Parks and McGregor actually had to slow the fight down? And I like to think that...
No, they didn't. The film crew had to slow it down.
Oh, I got you.
Because their choreography was so intense and so on point that people said it looked too unrealistic. There's no way you could do it this fast. When it was literally physically them doing it.
Yeah. I guess it looked like they had to slow this scene down. The fighting, the punches looked to be thrown a little slow.
This scene seemed a little too perfectly choreographed for my taste.
Yeah.
It seemed to B-grade martial arts movie where like the timing of the guys in the background doing nothing coincided perfectly with like how long it took to dispatch this one or two guys, and then another guy jumps on, which isn't real life.
It reminded me of like something out of Farscape.
Yeah, Farscape is the perfect. Shout out to Sci-Fi Channel.
But it is good too, because there's some character building here for Mando. Okay, we're gonna get into, Bill
There's
Burr.
a ton of character building for Mando in this episode.
Yeah, we'll get into Bill Burr. Bill Burr foreshadowed. Will you do? You strike me as the guy who will bend your rules when you get desperate, right? Which we get into that later. And then even in this scene, it's more character building so that we understand that Mando can fight without his Beskar. Like, he's not just a guy that has Beskar.
We needed some of that.
And we did need some of that.
Yeah.
So, back to the recap.
Team Rocket comes in.
Dude, Team Rocket comes in, okay? Ready to capture your Pokemon. 3 skiffs come in, and everybody starts arming the thermal
Everybody,
detonators.
like, jointly, almost as if they're doing a dance, like, primes their thermal detonator in the same fist, like, yes, type of, like, emotion, like...
And make it double. Team Rocket. Yeah, it's like they all kind of came in. It seemed a little, they were going to do whatever it took to blow up this last Juggernaut, pretty much. At the last second, before certain death, 2 TIE fighters come in air support to save Mando and Mayfeld.
The best sound.
We were talking about this. Iconic Star Wars sounds. TIE fighter is up there. Just that.
The scream.
Yeah, like it's super up there. And this scene was really cool. They kind of do the swoop. They do the flyby. They do their attack from the air. They also fly by Finnick and
They
Cara.
actually have me hyped that they're coming to save the day.
Exactly.
Like, they're not the bad guys. Like, I'm like, yay!
They're just trying to save their people.
That's a good point. It was like the first time, because like it's such an iconic sound. When you hear that, it's like hearing the whistle of a bomb. Like World War II bomb.
Yep.
It's as soon as you hear it, and every single time you hear the TIE fighter sound in any Star Wars, whatever.
Yeah,
trouble is coming, not
the
rescue.
The audience has fear, like anxiety, like, oh crap, the TIE fighters are coming. This is like the first time in history I'm like watching, like, oh yeah, they're coming. That was a good point.
As they make it across the bridge because of the air support, they make it into the Imperial outpost. As they get out of the tank, they are saluted as Imperial heroes.
Cheered and saluted. Yeah. I like that's how. I'm supposed to clap now.
There we
Wesley,
go.
clap on.
Wesley, clap. We're clapping. Oh, there we go. We're saluting Mando. Yeah, golf clap. Yeah, they're hooting, they're hollering. This is, if you turn on the subtitles too. This was really cool in this scene because things that you can't hear are being displayed on screen. So there's a lot of people that's like, oh my God, I can't believe they made it. And someone's like, no way, how did they do it? There's another person that says something else. It's basically, and this was also foreshadowed in the episode, we see a lot of these juggernauts that are destroyed on the road.
Yeah.
And so literally all eyes are on them because it's almost like this was the impossible mission that they were never able to do.
They were on a death mission to try to pick this stuff up.
Yeah.
Get your crap together, Remnant Troopers.
Yeah, come on.
There was a part of me, like when they're clapping, when they came in, I'm like, yo, that's how they're going to get figured out because stormtroopers have horrible training. There's no way a regular stormtrooper would have survived that. But that's what's going on in the back of my head.
There's been 46 missions and nobody has made it.
Who the heck are you guys? Yeah, and that's almost what happens. Mayfeld then finds the terminal that they seek. It is in the mess
I
hall.
like the idea that there's an entire base for
And
this
it's right there.
rhydonium, and nobody has literally been able to get it. We're
Yeah,
like,
no.
we can mine it, but we can't get back here.
Yeah, we're pretty much here for no reason.
This is pointless.
This is pointless. Mayfeld, however, cannot go in the mess hall. Why? His former commanding officer is sitting there enjoying his lunch. Valen, is that his name?
Yeah, Valen Hess.
Valen Hess is sitting there simply enjoying his lunch.
Valen Hess, played by Richard Brake.
Okay, now I said
Joe Chill.
his
Yes.
voice. Okay,
Thank you, Wesley.
I said his voice. I knew his voice, but I didn't know
Yeah.
where. Okay, so give me the deets.
Wesley, go into the Joe Chill.
As
Everybody
soon as
knows.
I heard his voice, as soon as I was like, all I heard was, "I can't take back what I did. I'm really sorry." You know, when he's doing the whole thing, and then
Batman
like,
Begins.
That's like
Okay.
that's Joe Chill. Yeah.
Batman
And then
Begins.
says-
What else?
Yeah, Batman Begins.
Connor, let's see. There's Batman Begins. There's also, he's the Night King in Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, he's the Night King. I don't know who that is. but
Isn't there Okay, continue. So he's one. There's multiple people that play him. So he's one of the Night King. Like there's. Okay, I got you. Continue.
No, there's I think there's only one Night King.
There's
he's
only
the
one Night King, but I mean there's two different actors that.
Oh, gotcha. Copy.
Yeah.
And then what's cool is this also shares continuity in a way with a Legends character who's Valen Horn,
Okay.
who is a big time Legends character. So this is, it could just be
Coincidence.
It's the same first name and a H, but I don't know. It was cool to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah, I recognize his voice. For some reason, I swore I was like, this guy might be in Justified. I don't know. He's
got a creepy face and
It's
voice
really
combination.
good. It's really, really good. His.
I have a feeling because his voice is so distinct that he might be more of a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard his voice 1,000 times, but we haven't really, put face to mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
Or,
You
foot to
recognize
mouth
him as creepy character that you can't put a face to.
yeah. And so but as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, yeah, that's Joe Chill.
Mayfeld explains that he does not want to go in the mess hall to Mando. The reason, he has to take off his helmet for the terminal to scan his face. And in so doing, his commanding officer might recognize him. Without having any options left, as foreshadowed in the episode, Mando walks into the mess hall,
Immediately breaking all his rules set.
puts his data cylinder into the terminal.
Helmet off.
It scans first. So he actually tried.
Yeah. He goes in. Yes, you're right.
He tries to do it without taking off his helmet.
He's like, I'll still see.
And when he realizes
Stubborn old man.
that he has no options left, Pedro Pascal, Djarin, Mando, takes off his helmet so that the facial scan can work. Of
Number
course,
one problem with this scene.
Uh-huh.
What kind of idiot
Yes.
who only wears a helmet
Uh-huh.
has a groomed mustache?
This guy. It looked good, man.
Dumbest thing
I
I've
kept
ever
asking-
seen in my life.
Yo, that's what I was asking. I was like, yo, who's cutting his hair? Because his cut's kind of fresh. Like
This guy
who's-
has got a perfectly groomed mustache.
Look, he got
and
mad.
He never takes his helmet
He
off.
got mad for season 1 because when they took off his helmet the first time, he looked like crap. Okay, so he was like, "Look, when I take my helmet off this time, I want to look amazing." Okay, and
Yo,
they gave it to him.
Is it just me or Pedro Pascal? He kind of looks like the Chilean like Burt Reynolds, like a young.
Oh, I
Chilean
can
Burt
see
Reynolds.
that.
Yes,
I
he
can
is
like, I
100% see that.
said he's the Chilean Burt Reynolds. That is perfect. He is the Smokey to my Bandit. Okay, look, I love this guy. Okay, he's great.
He's great. He's
is.
great. But I was just like, when I saw that, I was like, yo, if this was in Burt Reynolds' prime, Burt Reynolds could definitely play Mando.
Or Mando could play another Smokey Bandit movie with Pedro Pascal.
All right, so can we get that started? Hashtag
Listen.
Pedro as Smokey.
Pedro as Smokey. We're starting it right now. You heard it here first. Of course, noticing that a helmet has been removed and a terminal has been accessed, Hess walks over to Mando and asks Din what his TK number is.
Oh, here comes Sloth Mando.
Sloth Mando does not know what to say. He stands there literally umming.
I'm a tank pilot too? What?
What would I mean? It's understandable though. He has no
It's not
idea.
understandable because the Empire is
My
not.
dude has lived in a sewer his whole life.
But
What do you
the
mean it's not
Empire
understandable?
is a known quantity. Like
Oh,
who
so
they
you
are.
can explain all the facets of the United States military then?
You know that you have numbers. You have a dog tag with your number. You can...
What does it start with? There we go. Moving back to the recap.
You know what? I'm not a bounty hunter.
Sorry, bro.
I know that they have numbers of things. Dang it. Savage.
Listen, Ian Huskisson is listening to this, and he's screaming right now because he is a Marine, and he's going to tell you exactly how it is done.
Well, I mean,
110.
Yes.
22.
I think like what. Actually, Justin has a point. I was on you.
Yes.
I was with you, Connie, but now Justin has a point.
No, he doesn't.
No, he does. I mean, if you're going to make the United States military, if you say, I think it's what's your MS, or what's your, that means what's your duty, your specific duty.
Yeah,
so
I think
number 2 or number 1.
Yeah, they're like saying I'm artillery, blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your? I don't know if it's GI number. I don't know what it is, but Justin has a point.
Yeah.
Yes,
the only thing that's flawed in Justin's point is that he can't really execute it with
can't
actual
follow
knowledge.
through.
Yeah.
There's numbers and such. Like, I know that much.
Sloth Mando back at it again. Mayfeld comes
Saves
and
the day.
saves the day.
You know what? This is why I like him. He saves the day multiple times.
He
this
does.
episode.
Quote, "This is my commanding officer, TK-593. I'm Imperial Combat Assault Trooper TK-111, sir." Mayfeld explains that Din basically is deaf, and because of that, he cannot talk to the officer. The conversation continues.
Easily believable with all the thermal detonations as they're trying to get in.
Yeah. Hess then invites them over for a drink to celebrate the completion that they have delivered this Rhydonian transport. They then talk about what should they toast to. Mayfeld suggests, how about we toast to Operation Cinder? This was a big bomb drop, and the reason for that, we're going to go into it right now. Now, Wesley, have you played Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Or do you know what Operation Cinder is?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't. I've heard of it. No.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Operation Cinder.
Basically, Emperor Palpatine's, like,
Contingency plan.
Yeah, contingency plan in case I die.
If I can't rule, nobody
all hell
can.
breaks loose if I die.
So what this was is, and this storyline is carried out in the canon video game storyline for Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you have not played it and you don't intend on playing it, at least go on YouTube, look up the cinematic trailers or cinematic scenes, cutscenes, because they're awesome. And this is a canon storyline. Like this is after, all that stuff. There are these big giant satellite dishes.
Post Return of the Jedi, this is their immediate, like, a message goes out. The now I can't. I'm drawing a blank on what the name of those droids are that have the
Not
Emperor's
important.
face. But they send they're who delivers the message to every Imperial Star Destroyer that starts this massive Operation Cinder.
So Cinder is in correlation with fire. So these big giant satellites, they beam down these giant laser beams, almost kind of like Star Destroyer
Disrupting
technology,
weather patterns of planets,
and literally causing global warming.
Yeah.
Like in the craziest fashion to destroy worlds in its entirety.
Yeah, basically they trigger all of each individual planets, like earthquakes, hurricanes, volcano eruptions, everything all starts firing off at once, and they basically melt down populations.
Yeah,
my brain is having my brain is can't remember the exact name, but Hitler had a similar operation, similar contingency plan.
Yes, that makes I 100% can see the correlation between the two.
Yeah.
When the Allies were closing in, he had some type of thing to get rid of everything. And there's probably a history buff right now that says, what the hell is this guy talking about? But I'm pretty sure that's kind of like similar to that, right?
I would say that most people have that contingency style. Yeah,
when they're an
especially if
evil
you're
dictator, type of person, that if they go out, then they're gone, so who cares? Total everything.
I mean, I have one.
Yeah,
so
I have a manifesto when I go. That's gonna. But the whole thing is too with this. Canonically, it turned off a lot of Imperials because it was so far beyond. There was no justifiable means of this. They went from being able to be, especially they kind of leaned into the Battlefront story.
Yeah,
they could still feel like they were the good guys. And they were just looking to make order and take a lawless galaxy and bring law to it. this was kind of the tipping point for a large majority of people who had consciences in the Empire. And obviously, Mayfeld was one of those people.
Yeah.
He was definitely burnt by this. For burnt.
No pun intended.
But he was definitely... This is what turned him away from the Empire. It was no longer like, I have no justifiable cause to be here. This is genocide. We're just killing for the sake of killing.
And that's where Mayfeld, back to the recap, he starts going into detail.
Very, very angrily.
Was that good for the men and the women who died that day? Was that good for them? Was it?
Was that good for?
It was good for the Empire. You know, he starts saying, the guy saying back to him, it was good for the Empire. Basically, it was good for the cause. Mayfeld, once again, he's not dealing with this. Like you said, Justin, this is most likely what turned him away from the Empire.
Yeah.
Mayfeld then pulls out his blaster, quick draws, and shoots Hess in the chest.
Right in the middle of everyone.
Yeah, right in the middle of everyone.
He shot first.
Oh, yeah.
He shot first.
Hashtag Mayfeld shot first.
And I like right before this, Mando and Mayfeld share an expression.
Okay, yes. So
and you can see Mayfeld getting a little squirrely, and you can see it in his face, like he's
looking around.
When you have a close friend, or you have like your spouse, or anybody who's somebody really close to you, and you can look into their eyes and know, like, oh crap, like. Like whatever somebody is saying is pissing them off to a different level that's not normal. Like Mayfeld kind of shared that expression, and Mando kind of gave him the nod, like, yeah, I know.
Like, yo, you gotta chill. And that was something, they share that expression, and right when he shoots him, they also share a look, and Mando's in complete disbelief. I mean, he's like, his eyes are wide, he just doesn't understand what just happened.
Yeah, because this is the first time we're seeing him emote with a helmet off.
And this is when crap gets real. Mayfeld and Mando begin to shoot their way out of the mess hall. The final stage of the plan is now in action. Finnick and Kara begin taking out additional troopers with their sniper rifles.
I never saw your face afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was, okay, kind of like what you said earlier, Wesley. You kind of talked about, you said there's a line where people will abandon... Like, at what point will they abandon that religious or that zealot style of lifestyle, right? This is kind of like Mayfeld was mocking him, and then when crap got real, Mayfeld respects it. Because Mayfeld hands him the helmet, and he says, I never saw your face. You did what you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it's like when they're taking the drive, he's like, we're all the same. And, Mando's like, let's get something straight. Me and you are not the same.
Yeah.
But he knew that they were, because even though he's kind of like a Weasley comic relief character, he's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm censoring myself.
Some dark stuff. Yeah.
He's been through, so he understood. So he was just like, you know what, like, you've been like a hard jerk to me for a while, but I saw what you went through just in those 5 seconds. You saw what I went through, so I'm gonna
iced.
I'm gonna respect the fact that you did what you had to do, and then I'm gonna back you up on it.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best part of the writing I felt for the whole episode.
Yeah, it came full circle.
The second that they get into the Imperial Depot is an immense amount of good writing. Now, this was directed by Rick. I didn't see who it was written by. Usually it says directed by, then written by.
I didn't pay attention to that.
I know that it said created by Jon Favreau, but I didn't see who it was written by. Maybe that means that it's a whole writing team and it wasn't like credit being given to one person. But whoever got this scene, whatever team or person got this scene in particular, the whole feel of the Empire, this is something that we've mirrored numerous times, Justin, is we want the
see both sides.
Yes, we want to see both sides, to see these people that are in the Empire that have no idea that they're the bad guys, right? Or there are those who realize they're the bad guys, like this officer. Mm-hmm. We want to see both sides. Obviously, when Mayfeld understood that what they were doing was morally wrong, and he saw that his own empire turned on him, that's where he took his back seat. That's where he took his step out. And this whole interaction between them two, it's really good story writing, and this is what you don't have time for in a movie. And that's why Star Wars as a whole being told by TV shows, whether it be cartoon, animation, live action, you get so much more character and world building that
novel
really...
and comic form too. Like you have time to flesh people out and the inner workings of people's thought processes that you can't do in a movie.
Yeah, it's going to add a lot more to the story.
I'm all for it.
As they are scaling the side of this Imperial base, Finnick and Kara once again are destroying troopers left and right.
At that point, I was like, oh, yeah, they're here.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were in this episode. Boba swoops in to pick them up safely. I said slavely. Safely with the slave one. Before flying away, Mayfeld takes the sniper or cycle rifle.
Cycler rifle. Cycler rifle.
Cycle.
Cycler. It's a cycler rifle.
He takes it in his possession, and he takes an
Tuscan
amazing
rifle,
shot.
as you recognize it.
Yeah.
It's the long. It looks like a single load musket rifle.
Yeah. And he takes a shot, destroying 2 tanks full of Rhydonium. This reminds me, you know what we didn't talk about last episode? Mando's pulse rifle is gone.
Yeah, it was blown up in the ship.
Dude.
Ambin phase pulse rifle. We will miss you.
Rest in peace. Not out of the woods yet, of course.
I like that right after he blows it up, he just looks at them and he says, we all need to sleep at night.
We all need to sleep at night.
Yeah. He had so many good quotes in this.
Honestly, I have to say, this is one of my favorite moments, and this is a personal favorite moment. It won't be on the radar of most people. Personal favorite moment in one of Star Wars history was when they're trying to escape on the little ledge, and the stormtroopers are like trying to shoot them through the little gap on the feet.
Fan things. Yeah.
I've been saying that since I was a little kid. Like, it was always like, Luke was trying to escape, and then the stormtroopers were trying to like open the door, and R2-D2 would just jam it
shoot
halfway.
Their feet off.
And I'm just like, yo, shoot their feet. They can't get far with no ankles. And I'm like, finally, yes, the
clipped his Achilles.
Finally, they didn't hit the shot because they never hit the shots, but at least they tried. Like, I was like,
unless you're shooting at Beskar, it's apparently a blaster magnet.
Yeah, just straight to
but
it.
It was just finally like, it was just always just like, shoot their ankles. It's simple, and then they did it for me. Thank you, Disney.
Not out of the woods yet. 2 TIE fighters join the battle to shoot down the slave one. Boba Fett, without hesitation, as we probably knew this was coming, and I'm glad that we got to see it again.
Now's when you turn up your speakers.
Boba drops a seismic charge, destroying both TIE fighters. Mando and Kara then let Mayfeld go.
Don't skip over seismic charges. That easy breezy.
Okay.
That was
we'll go
one
back.
of the best fan service moments, and also like leaning into like Boba is following Jango's role. Like, the ship is outfitted with the same arsenal that his dad taught him to use. Like, everything about that was episode 2. Yeah, where Obi-Wan's chasing him and he leaves the seismic charges. James is probably the biggest audiophile that I know. That has always been his go-to to test your sound system once you get a new sound system in your house set up and dialed in.
Yep.
And just to have that brought back was like amazing.
Yeah.
And what you said, he went home. He watched this with you yesterday morning. He went home, and then James, who has a
amazing sound
system with 2 different subwoofers and full Dolby Atmos, all clips.
Yep.
He turned that on.
So he has about, I believe it's a 18-inch subwoofer. And what happened is...
He has 2 subs.
Well, okay. Oh, yeah, because the other one blew up.
He has a front sub and a rear sub, so it kind of, they work resonating back and forth with each other.
So I guess what happened in the scene, in particularly with a proper sound system, is when the explosion happened, there's actually no sound. And if you watch the episode, there also is no sound.
And then it goes,
but
after
before it, so what happens is it explodes and the ring starts, and about halfway,
you see the picture of the explosion, but no sound.
So what happened is with a proper sound system, everything in his loft was shaking when there was nothing happening on the screen, because the receiver showed that the hertz went negative, and it was a frequency you couldn't hear, but the sound was there. And so it was shaking his windows before you ever heard the gong. Wow. It's super crazy.
Yeah,
it's like just detail that's, if you didn't have the equipment.
So if you're watching it with that, like, you see the explosion, and then all of your subs just start firing and vibrating and shaking the entire room. And then you hear the wow after the fact, like a delayed reaction. Like, that's the type of stuff.
Justin, make that sound again.
Wow!
There it is.
Nailed it.
Can you please edit that and put that in a sampler?
Yeah, I'll give you. It's your text message tone. Wow!
I hate you.
Upon landing, Mando and Kara let Mayfeld go. We then
He doesn't get the clue.
he doesn't get it.
I'm gonna do it if you're gonna let me go. I'm just gonna go.
I'm gonna walk away. So Mayfeld goes. Actually, this was one of the things that I didn't care for, because I felt like they went through a lot of trouble just to let him go. Obviously, he's shown his worth, and I really would have liked to have seen him stay and be part of Team Mando.
I think he will be. I think this is like we've said before, a difference between a seasonal story arc and a full series story arc. I think he is going to have 100% a reason to be back in this show.
I just don't particularly see that happening with them leaving him for the second time. He was left to go to prison, and now he's left on another.
But there's
planet.
a very positive. It's very.
It's a good relationship.
Left. Like they built a relationship now, and they let him go. I think that 100%,
season 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
maybe season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
we might
see
not
that.
see it right now. It's going to be like they need somebody with more Imperial knowledge that they'll, hey, I got a guy.
Oh, we got to find Mayfeld again.
Yeah, I got a guy we can bring in.
We cut to Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon is informed that there's a message he needs to see.
I hated this scene.
What? This is the best scene of the entire episode.
The reversal.
I hated it.
Listen. Mando appears to Moff in a hologram transmission. Quote,
Can you do it as good as him?
I need my voice changer.
Giancarlo's
Let me see if I
version
find
of
my voice
this
changer.
was one of my favorite things that he did. I love like the cadence and how he spoke this in season 1 at the end was so ominous and so evil and just dripping with threat in every word that he said. I was really surprised that Mando was going to have, or I shouldn't say Mando, I should say Pedro Pascal was going to have the ability to also, to me, leave this or perform this same quote in the same type of ominous threat. Wesley, you said you don't like it? What didn't you like it?
I just feel like it wasn't his character to like. It was just a little over the top writing, and like this, he means way more than me than DT. I don't know.
But that's what he says. Corny. That's what he says in the first. That's what he quotes the exact same mantra, which I'm gonna quote right now with my helmet voice changer. Let me check this. Okay, does that sound good? Do we got it? Okay. Moff Gideon, you have something I want. You may think you have some idea of what you are in possession of, but you do not. Soon, he will be back with me. He means more to me than you will ever know. Okay, it wasn't the same, but
no,
it was
pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
You know
it wasn't bad. I liked your version better than his.
Oh,
hey, there we go.
Well, he also loves Lifetime movies, if we learned.
No, I do not. But they did.
They pay the bills.
They kind of.
This scene, I think it was gangster. That's what I'll say. Like, I even told Justin I had this funny idea.
I like the reversal of it.
Yeah, the reversal. He says the mantra, like, right back to him. We get, like, I told Justin it'd be really, really funny if, like, somebody does, like, a viral TikTok with somebody, but that I mean me, is, like, at the end of him saying this, we get the 8-bit glasses and the little weed roach, the da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Like, he gives him his whole bit back. You know, it's like he was there to impose this fear and everything.
Which, in their time, that's like a lot of time passed to recite back to somebody.
Exactly.
Which meant it resonated in him. Like, like this isn't just a year where you can go rewatch an episode. In reality, this is a lot of time that has passed.
Yeah.
So Moff Gideon's threat, it hit him. Like, it was memorable. It was burned into him. And the fact that he gave it back to him, and you can see Gideon's face, like...
He looks concerned.
It was like a oh crap type of a moment.
Yeah. He looked concerned. So what is it that you didn't like about it? You thought it was a little cheesy?
I just thought it was cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. It's kind of like
see it being a little easy.
And I that's a Hollywood tropes, right? The villain monologue. So to kind of hear it echoed back. I mean, I get it. I particularly enjoyed it because we saw in this episode the extent that Mando is willing to go to get the child back with taking off his helmet. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, we've had numerous scenes in this whole series where people are trying to take his helmet off and he keeps it on, but he took it off to get the information that he needed to find Grogu.
All right, you're changing my mind. I guess I feel like it just could have been executed a little bit better. I feel like
the hologram is clunky.
Now that I'm thinking, I think I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay. So now the reason why he said that basically is to submit to parrot what was said to him.
Yeah.
And then he unmasks himself, reeling. He's like, okay, now I know how far I'm willing to go.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get it. I just kind of feel like he's a Mandalorian. His whole thing is about not necessarily stealth, but about efficiency. And now he's letting letting them know he's coming for him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now you put a target on your back, and now you just put up the defenses. So I was like, I felt like he wouldn't have done that.
I feel like too is if we wouldn't have had that scene, people would have felt really more strongly on the dislike side of this episode, because this is kind of something that I told you.
This
Justin,
set up the next episode
perfectly,
fantastically.
Yeah,
like it's now Din.
He knows where he's at.
He's not hiding. He's openly like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Like, set up whatever defenses
you are
think
going
you're
to
gonna
get
stop
the
me.
last 2 whistling birds I have left in my gauntlet.
Yeah.
Both of them.
He's like, whatever you think you have that can defend you, it's not going to be enough. So much so that I'm telling you, I'm coming for you. Bring in all your countermeasures. They're not going to stop me. Which is even more ominous than what Gideon's was when he had him cornered, and then he delivers that dialogue.
So let's talk about this real quick as we wrap up this recap. Has Gideon done enough to be the main villain of this series as a whole? Now, we haven't had the last episode of season 2, but in my mind, because we got the Thrawn drop, this is something that we talked about in Discord. Mm-hmm. Thrawn will end up being the main baddie, and Gideon is a puppet. In my mind, Gideon has not done enough. I
give Gideon the title of puppet. I think he is too capable to be just thrown.
What has he done to be capable? That's my question.
He still survived. He's still active. He's still a big part. I consider Gideon more of a Tarkin level character.
All the way up on Tarkin.
Comparatively to what the Empire has left right now.
Well, okay, comparatively.
I think Gideon is extremely capable, and he is not a slacker. He's a hardworking, like, he's not like a lazy person as far as,
he does not lie about his time card.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Gideon he might not necessarily be the greatest tactician that like Tarkin was, but I think that he is a fully capable Imperial tool to be
I
used.
gotcha.
I don't think he's a puppet. I can't call him that.
I really need Gideon to go off this next episode. I don't want to see a bunch of Imperial people at terminals making turbo lasers go off.
Yeah.
I want to see Gideon in a turret. I want to see Gideon.
We gotta have full Dark Trooper level, like, self-defense.
Dude, I need to see Gideon. I don't want to see the very last scene of the next episode where it's kind of like the tropes of everybody's dead. We defeated all the Dark Troopers,
and it's
everybody's abandoned ship, and it's Mando and Gideon. And what happens? He whips out the Darksaber, and Boba's like, "Hey, Mando," and he throws him the Beskar spear.
I like that.
I need Gideon. I feel like Gideon has not done enough.
He's not proven himself so far.
I want him to have a very, very active role in this season finale. Thoughts?
Yeah, I can see that because he hasn't done anything to prove himself except be in the right place at the right time and he can pilot a
and he has tons of resources.
He's got a lot of resources.
So what is he without
obviously
those resources?
A survivor. I'll give it to him. He's a survivor.
Yeah.
He knows how to put himself in the right situation, but he hasn't proven himself a ton yet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how this ends. I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to survive the encounter. I don't know if he's going to... I threw out the idea to you, what if Mando at the end of the season loses? What if this takes a tip from Empire?
And that's what I was going to say when Westley said you take that trilogy, the OG trilogy as a whole, we could have a horrible season ending where we have no idea what happens to any of our heroes for a year.
If this is 3 seasons long, if it's 3 stories but also make one big arc across all 3 of the stories.
Season 1 ends on a high.
What if this is all a negative? Like, Mando gets his butt handed to him, gets pulled out of the line of fire like barely alive or something.
That's a good point. Refresh my memory. The last episode, the ending of the first season, it was he won. It ended on a win.
He took down the TIE
wins.
fighter.
Yeah.
He took down the TIE fighter. He thought Gideon died. Gideon, dark saber ignition.
Yeah.
Climbs out of the TIE fighter.
So I mean, if you're going on the formula, then yeah, this might be a loss. He might lose.
I
on the
wouldn't
last
mind that,
episode.
man. I wouldn't mind season 2 being a nail biter, and we're down and out at the end of it.
I shouldn't put it in a. I did put it kind of like in a way where I'm saying I mind. I shouldn't have pitched it like that. Obviously, we have our own expectations. Whatever's going to happen, I know we're going to be happy with. This show has done nothing but brought us pleasure. We love talking about the show. It's going to be awesome. I have no doubts about that. I want to see more from Moff Gideon. I feel like as the main villain, he has not been involved enough, and I want to see more of Carlos.
They've definitely left him out this episode.
Yeah,
or this season, I should say.
I want more of Carlos.
He's had
I need
almost
Carlos.
cameos, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been really cool. But anybody final thoughts on this episode?
I like Bill Burr way more than I did in The Prisoner.
Yeah.
He's still still not my favorite because of his real world negativity towards the Star Wars universe. But in this episode surprised me. I think this episode also will be a lot better looking back in time.
This is another fishbowl episode.
Yes, exactly.
It's an episode that we could be negative about. We don't necessarily want to be, but we don't know what this episode looks like when we have all 3 chapters, right? Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, whether that be Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and Season 4. If it is 3 seasons, our opinion of this episode could change on a ranking when you have all the puzzle pieces and not just some.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it more on additional watches. I was initially upset because to me this didn't feel like a Chapter 15. This was not the episode before last. This was something that we needed to get,
I can't see that.
A little bit.
I think my main criticisms of it was this was probably, in the grand scheme of things, this was the episode that developed Mando the most, or at least it should have been.
A lot more character.
For sure.
And I just felt that it was my responsibility to understand the gravity of the situation and of the stakes of him taking off the helmet and revealing his face. It felt like it was more my responsibility rather than their responsibility to show me.
Yeah.
And it was just like at the end of the episode, I kind of just I just understood the stakes, but I just didn't feel it.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was just like even when he took off the helmet and then
Sweet mustache.
Bill Burr, the Smokey and the Bandit came by, and I was just kind of like this is a pretty big moment. They're not really showing the emotion that I'm wanting to feel,
Yeah.
And I guess that was the whole point of the hologram message at the end. I was like, yo, he literally just gave up his entire creed because he understood that his creed doesn't mean doesn't mean Bantha Voodoo to
Voodoo. Bantha Voodoo.
Sorry, I'm doing my best.
I like
to
it.
myself.
Yeah, I like it. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, his creed doesn't mean anything except for rescuing.
He bends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote a note. I can't remember what episode it was. I think it was 2 episodes of years ago. I don't know if it was Justin or you or somebody else that said
probably me.
That said we're talking about the importance of Grogu.
Yeah.
And without him, this would not be popular.
Yes.
And I think we who the hell is that? Oh, who the heck is that? Sorry, it's some commercial on the back of my TV.
Yeah, you're
good. What was I saying? It was good.
Grogu was
something about
important.
Gogurt.
Yeah.
Gogurt.
Definitely. If Grogu was not in this series, this series would not be as iconic as it is.
No, he's definitely
because I think
glue.
In 2030 when they're wrapping up the decade of the most iconic character, Grogu is going to be top 5.
Yeah, I think they'll put them together, Mando and Grogu, because
it was even when Grogu was being tortured, it was still awesome. So it was just I don't know if this show's
poor
cool
Gogurt
without
and
him.
shackles.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us on this recap of Chapter 15, The Believer.
Dylan, I hate you. The Smirnoff Ice has worked its way through my bladder. If you can't tell, I'm spinning back and forth.
We are going to have to work this out literally right now. We are going to go into our Cantina and Fulcrum listening post right now. Thank you very much, Wesley, for joining us on this recap.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
That was super awesome. We will definitely have you back.
Yes, you need to do more episodes.
Yeah, we will be doing more episodes. Guys, now we are going to go into our listening post. Now is the part of the episode where we get to hear the voice of the people.
My favorite part.
Everybody, look, we're sitting at the bar, okay, gossiping, telling everybody what we think. Sitting over there in Han's booth. Still got the scorch mark on the wall.
Han shot first, confirmed.
You know, every single week, we get hundreds of thousands of transmissions.
Yes, we picked the best, though.
But something weird happened this week. Somebody sent us a hologram transmission. Yeah. I can't believe this happened, but
hologram.
It's weird. It's actually addressed to you.
Uh-oh. This is Sam Witwer.
So, as I understand it, Justin, you were under the impression that every Mandalorian episode has a Sam Witwer cameo in it. That's interesting. No, it's not right. Right, Buster? It's not right. It's not true.
Dead.
From a certain point of view. Because if you listen very carefully, perhaps what you've been saying all along is the truth. From a certain point of view. A certain point of view? Buster, you're going to find many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. You see? Anyway, so who knows? Maybe I'm not in them at all. Maybe I'm in all of them.
Yes, confirmed.
Confirmed.
I would go more toward the direction if I'm not in them. But you never know. You just don't know. There's no way of knowing, really. And Buster doesn't know when he's not telling anyone. Right, Buster?
I'm dying right now.
Justin, hope you stay safe. And may the force be with you.
Thanks, Sam.
Listen, Justin, you're racking up quite a list here. It's Timothy Zahn. And now it's Sam Witwer.
Oh, I'm tearing up. That was the best thing ever. Thanks, Sam. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Later, Sam. Yeah, Sam Witwer. They'll be able to see that. I need to put that on screen so that they can see that too. So yeah,
confirmed. Sam Witwer. Possibly
from a certain point of view.
From every episode.
Possibly. Listen, every episode. Thank you very much for that transmission, Sam. Now going into some more.
A good day.
You didn't expect that.
I did not expect that at all.
Our next call is from one of our patrons, Jonathan.
I'll text you later, Sam.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan. I think I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was on its own, it was a really good story. I thought it was good that Din had to get out of his armor.
Wait, was this Jonathan and he's not playing Trouble?
In the past few episodes, he's been too dependent on that Beskar steel, just kind of like taking gunshots and...
Uh-oh. Well, he must have dropped Trouble.
Off his steel, and this one he had to get back to his, BA ways and kick some butt on his own because that armor was literally shattering. So I thought that was good. I thought it was really cool to see him have to make a decision between keeping his helmet on or saving Grogu.
Yeah.
And so
he bent quick.
Cool to see him do that and take that helmet off, and not just even for a little bit. We got an extended time period of that. So
sweet mustache.
So that was cool, and I think that's going to play a big role in maybe future episodes as we see him have to make different decisions and all that. So, or maybe even if he meets up with the armor again, I'm sure he's going to have some questions.
Yeah, I'd like to bring her back.
Should be interesting. I liked the very end of it, him sending the same message that Moff Gideon gave him. He sent it right back, so it's going to make for a good showdown, and can't wait to see the next episode. So I thought overall it was good. I understand why people maybe don't like these kind of episodes, because it's kind of hard when you have a season that's only 8 episodes long and it makes it feel like this is kind of like a waste of an episode. I wish if there were like 16 episode seasons, then we'd be like, oh, this was like a really, really good episode.
16 episodes.
But either way,
so much
I
better.
think it's going to play, like we've seen with some previous ones that we thought weren't that important. I think it'll play a big role in some future episodes.
Still laughing at Sam Witwer.
Exciting to see. I look forward to hearing what you guys have been talking about when this gets posted.
Yeah, he changed his mind on this episode too, because he was putting in the Discord kind of like what he felt on the ladders, that not that it was a waste, it just kind of like what mirroring what I was saying, is it just didn't almost belong for the episode before last.
I feel like this episode grows on you.
Yeah,
definitely over time and over multiple watches. I think it's like from my first initial thought of the episode to after rewatching it over several times, it's grown on me each time.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gotten better. Thank you, Jonathan, for that transmission.
Who we got next?
Our next call is from the Kilkey man himself, Niles.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Niles. Just finished the episode, and I liked it. I thought it was good. Like, I guess I've been hearing that some people thought it was just kind of another filler episode, but I mean, I don't know. It was a solid one.
I agree.
There's got to be those. I mean, and probably a lot of these that we consider filler episodes, a lot of times later they have significance. Like, I mean, even like in the first season, Mayfeld showing up. Here's the payoff. We get him and kind of get his story. And I thought it was really good. I'm not actually a big Bill Burr fan, unpopular opinion, but actually really thought he did a good job. I like the character.
Billy B.
The scene with them talking with the officer was really tense and good.
Yeah.
And
I think that was my favorite part.
Cool to see Mando's face. He's kind of loosening up a little bit. Loved the ending with his message to Moff Gideon, trolling him a little bit. That was awesome. So I can see why people, they want constant like story beats happening, like major story, but I'm okay with these episodes. I mean, they do a great job with them, and it all can be high points. So overall, I really like the episode, and hopefully next week is a banger. So,
yes.
All right.
I'll be watching it live in the morning.
Yes. Yeah, like Niall said, I that Imperial scene where they're talking to each other, that was like super, super
intense.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Like uncomfortable in a good way.
Yeah,
that was definitely one of my favorite parts of the episode for sure. Next, our transmission is from Chris Machado from the FOMOcast. Nobody got cut off this week.
I like it.
Yeah,
we're learning the 3-minute rule.
Even though I kind of like it when people get cut off.
What's up? This is Chris from the FOMOcast, Cantina as some people prefer. Just calling in about the latest episode of The Mandalorian. I wasn't extremely, it wasn't the best episode for me. I did greatly appreciate a little bit more subtle humor in this episode, even during some tense times. I feel like it was setting up for something very, very big to happen in the next episode. Bill Burr, I know, Connor, you don't like him at all. I think he's a great character, and this episode kind of made me like him a little bit more.
Yeah, he definitely got more likable because of this one.
Definitely.
I mean, in the end,
good humor thrown in from him.
We know what's kind of coming, a little bit. We know it's going to be some big showdown. Connor pointed out some stuff to me. He probably already talked about the speech that Mando gave. And I really like the TIE fighters coming in. It gave me the whole episode in the jungle gave me a big Vietnam vibe with, the crews being excited that people are coming in, that someone actually made it with this stuff. And then you have the Nazi-esque, officer just talking about Operation Cinder, and you see why Bill Burr's character is the way he is. So, excited for the finale next week, but sad it has to end so soon. And, Connor McLeod is the best Highlander.
It is really sad that it's ending. Season 2 is done next week, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's plenty on the horizon, though, fortunately.
But not until the end. Well, we have Winter Soldier and Falcon starting in March from Disney Plus, but not a ton of. We have a lot of written media for Star Wars coming that we'll be able to talk about. But
stuff is going to be
January.
A lot.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of that. Our next transmission is from Camping Comedian.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm already done with it.
It's me, the Camping Comedian here, at Camping Comedian on Twitter.
Long pause.
And since this is a Cantina podcast, I'd like to let you know that I am drinking a delicious Diet Mountain Dew. The perfect thing to get you going on a Saturday morning. What a weird time to record, guys. Happy anniversary
True.
to the PR man himself, on everybody's left, Justin.
Thank you, sir.
Purvis Baker. Anyways.
No hot take.
This
just
episode was awesome. It felt like it was a little bit slower or not what everyone wanted, because right now we just want action answers because we're getting to the end of the season.
Yep.
But it was a very necessary episode, and I loved the way that they showed oh my goodness, sorry about that. The Mando fighting with the Imperial armor on, and almost forgetting that it's not his Vesker, and having to change up his fighting style to overcome the weaker armor. So that was a really cool feature, I thought.
What's the point of Imperial armor anyway?
Can't wait to see the encounter with Moff Gideon and who all is going to show up. Hopefully it's going to be like someone else has said, an Avengers type summit of all of the heroes attacking the forces of evil. Think that tactically, Mando announcing to Moff Gideon that he's on his way to him is pretty stupid of a move.
That's what you said.
Why wouldn't Moff Gideon just leave where he's at that point? It would easily outrun.
Change ships.
Just jump into hyperspace.
Go into a different ship.
Yeah. But I understand why they put that kind of stuff in to keep the story going and to keep everybody on top of what's happening next.
And it was a cool scene.
Disney Investor Day stuff, still reeling from that. Can't wait till that episode. And that's all I have for this week. I think I'm under the time limit. And Fulcrum message out.
And shout out to Matt for also taking the time to be on the hot reaction of the
reaction.
The Investor Day.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, too. Jonathan was one of our first transmissions. Jonathan was on there as well. Yeah, that was a fun stuff. We want to do a lot more of that with the patrons and our Pantinos.
Next time I won't be asleep.
Yeah, there you go. Our next transmission is from Tyler. Now, we don't know which Tyler this is yet.
Okay.
All right.
Tyler with an O or Tyler with an E. Could be either.
S.
Hey, it's your boy Tyler. I know I'm your favorite caller. Don't deny it. Anyway,
it's true.
Connor, you called it. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
What?
This episode was another chase episode, but it had a little flair, a little spice, and like I mentioned last week, we have to try and remember this is a whole cohesive series, not in a vacuum.
Yep.
So hopefully in hindsight, it will look better. But if they wasted this episode for a cliffhanger next week, I will be sharpening my pitchfork and getting my matches.
It's going to have to be a cliffhanger at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes without saying. There's going to be some type of a cliffhanger on every season finale.
Yeah, and we talked about this too, is feelings of this episode can change for the good or for the bad, depending on how this season finale goes. And one thing that we didn't talk about is this last episode was still only like 41 minutes long.
Yeah, still on the...
It was still shorter, but longer than others. I'm really hoping...
I wonder how long until we get a runtime, because normally we got... I think if I remember last year, we got like it's an hour long before the episode came out.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't we get like a minute runtime early? I wonder if we get that this year, too.
I mean, really...
I'll
55 minutes.
I'll feel a lot better if it's like 50 plus minutes.
Yeah, or even 60 plus minutes.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, 50 plus minutes, that's kind of like a bench for me. It needs to be 50 plus minutes.
I also am really starting to think there's a strong possibility of this season finale ending poorly for Mando. And that's how we go into season 3. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that idea. I'm hoping that's what they choose to do.
To burn ready. But anyway, okay episode. I did enjoy the inner workings of a life of an Imperial, seeing the soldiers cheer and be happy. You know, they are like kind of normal human beings. You know, even the ones who died on the Death Star. Really, I don't have a problem with the character. I'm forgetting his name, Mads or whatever. But
Mayfeld.
Mayfeld. Or Mags. I don't think he's that annoying, and I actually liked his philosophical ramblings and everything. And I loved how he just shot his former commander on the spot, for basically bragging about the atrocities that, he had participated in. And I love the Attack of the Clones callback at the end with the death charge. I love seeing Boba and Slave One in action. I love that they're, embracing the prequels with the Juggernaut references. They're not shoving them away like the sequel trilogy.
The Juggernaut and the seismic charges, both. I mean, the seismic charge, it was like the best type of fan service, But like you said, it's not necessarily fan service. It's the Slave One.
Yeah.
Like that's how the Slave One is outfitted.
The arsenal of the ship.
Yeah. And it was cool to see that brought back again, because he missed it on Obi-Wan 3 times. But, finally we got to see it's...
Well, we saw... Django. Yeah. Boba's a better pilot than Django.
Yeah, there we go. It is. He has more learning. He didn't get his head cut off by a Jedi,
Well, he did. Anyway, hopefully next week's better. Looking forward to your podcast once again, and I will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Thank you so much for that transmission. Our last transmission, Anthony. This is Tony 1. Tony 1.
Hey guys, I am finally getting a chance to call in. This is Anthony, or Tony 1.
There it is.
Antoine the Fish.
Embrace it.
I absolutely love this episode. This is
I'm looking forward to his
probably
take.
my favorite episode in the series so far.
In the entire
I've
series.
seen mixed things from what other people have said about it, but I really enjoyed it. It had good pacing, and just I loved it.
I did think the pacing was good, except for getting into the Imperial Depot.
The tank battle scene was a little drawn out.
Yeah, because it was kind of just wave after wave. It was very video game horde-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the kill streak comes in at the end. Yeah. Because and I say that too because that would have given us more time in the Imperial Depot. Mm-hmm. That would have been cool to have more.
And one of the things that I noticed on this scene that I totally forgot to bring out when we were going over the recap, remember last season, the only scene where you had a lot of troopers, they had to bring in the 501st.
Yeah.
So obviously their budget has to be exponentially bigger because look how many different types of troopers, different sets of armor, the amount of them that was there, that's more than they ever had even on that season finale.
Yeah.
So their budget is huge. Yeah. And I love being able to see movie level amount of troopers and the different seeing the shore troopers and the tank pilots and all those different types together was awesome.
And the gunners on top of the
the gunners with the weird
the weird
weird
helmets.
Yeah. Sideways egg helmets.
I will start off with Bill Burr's character, Mayfeld, because honestly I was dreading that he was coming back to the show, but they really flipped the switch. I really liked his character. His character developed really well. I actually care about him now. And just some good acting on his part. And good character development with the Mando. We see him changing into Imperial armor, which seems like the last thing he would do. And then we see him showing his face to other people. And I just assumed as soon as he took his helmet off that he was going to do whatever he was going to do real quick and then put his helmet back on. But it's he realized that it's not killing anybody to show his face, but it just really shows, his character developing and, how much he's willing to do for Grogu. And as much as I hate to say it, I think this episode proves that the show can, in fact, work without Grogu. I love having him around and seeing him, but the show is interesting with the characters that we have without him being
Grogu
there.
in it at all.
If he has to leave the show at some point, that's okay with me. I liked the whole Indiana Jones style chase at the beginning, and there was some even some moments with some nice banter between the characters. And overall, it didn't feel like a short episode, and that's what I liked. So hopefully I'm not running out of time. I love listening to the show, and I look forward to the next episodes.
It's a really, really good point he made, that this is the first episode that Grogu was not in the episode at all. We didn't even get like on like Gideon's side, we didn't even get like a scene of him
we
in
didn't
a,
see
in a
him
cell.
in the tiny little shackles again.
Man, I did not even register that's the entire first time, the entire series.
The entire
crazy.
stuff. Yeah, and you know, like what he was saying still with the
Didn't miss him.
No, and the, you know, still again the Bill Burr stuff. Like, he really did sell this episode, and as somebody who isn't his biggest fan,
it sounds like Tony was kind of same Tony now.
Yeah,
it sounds like Anthony/Tony one was kind of the same camp that we were, where we were not looking forward to Bill Burr, and he surprised us pleasantly.
Yeah, no, it was definitely awesome. That is all we had time for transmissions. You know, Sam Witwer sending in his holo, that took up a good amount of time and bandwidth. We hope you enjoyed that. And Anders, you can thank Anders for that one. That Anders made that possible.
Oh
yeah, so that was awesome. Once, you know, we're going into our season finale next week. So we will be doing a live reaction for the morning for the episode. We don't have like all the details done yet, but just look out for that. Also look out for, we'll be foregoing the news because the Disney Investor Day was so absolutely ginormous that's its own episode.
Yes.
So we'll be coming out with that too. We want to get that out as soon as possible, but life, full-time jobs. We'll get it out as soon as possible. It most likely will be a bonus episode. I don't think we should hold on to that one. We need to get it out.
It'll probably be a supplemental episode, so 2 in 1 week.
And if you want to get the Cliff Notes on the Star Wars stuff, we also have that up on YouTube. We did do a reaction video, as we talked about. I sat down with some of our Patreon members, and we went over just basic thoughts on all the titles that were released for Star Wars.
We're releasing that as an episode as well, aren't
It
we?
is, yeah, it's already up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already up. Super huge week. And this episode, it got better with more watches, for sure. Yeah, it definitely got just immensely better the more you watched it. Bill Burr really, really sold it. I loved seeing Pedro Pascal again.
With his sweet groomed mustache.
Yeah, I hope that in season 3 we really do see more of him, and some of that rumor stuff with him basically only being a voice actor is
hopefully not true.
Yeah, hopefully not true. That would be. I really would enjoy seeing him more as an actor. Because he's our Mando, right? You know, we talk about the doubles that are in the suits and stuff, but it would be really, really nice to see more of him.
Before we jump off, give your prediction of a Cliff Notes of what do you think is going to happen next week.
Yeah, the way that Westley brought out how the original trilogy trope went, you know, season 1 ends on a high, right?
Comparative
A New
Hope, yeah,
ends on a high. Empire ends on a low. Season 2 could end on a low. And tons of shows. Breaking Bad has done that, where seasons just end at a devastating way that you just have no idea where we're going from there.
Yeah.
I agree. I hope that that's what happens, because there's no way that the Slave One, Boba, Fennec, and Mando.
Yeah, they're kind of setting you up to think he's going to have this unbeatable team of allies. I like the idea of something happening.
They're good, but they can't take on
a whole
Gideon's
cruiser.
vessel.
Yeah.
No, there's just no way. If he had the help of the Mandos,
and they know that, and we got the Dark Troopers.
Yeah,
and
we haven't even seen a standoff with them yet.
Yeah, we've got Dark Troopers. We know that are on the ship. We have Gideon with the Dark Saber. We have Thrawn referenced.
We have no idea what his little Moff's little lieutenant can do. The girl, I mean, she's been at the end of every episode. She's gonna do something.
Yeah, she's got to have a point. Yeah,
she could be like a Terrace Kasi master or something, and she's just, she's the mini boss.
Yeah, I think that the odds are definitely stacked in the Imperial's favor.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping, because I kind of love the idea of Mando just getting wrecked when they thought that they were going into this with all the we're saving Grogu.
Yeah,
and then just it not happen.
Yeah. my heart may not be able to handle the season finale, but it is a necessary evil. And it'll be good. It'll be good. We have no doubts that it'll be good. Everything about the show has been good. But, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week once again. Of course.
Confirmed Sam Witwer appearance in this episode.
He actually was a cameo in this episode. He came on. He talked to you specifically. So
from a certain point of view.
I kind of hate you now, but, it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much. I was your boy. It's Konkon.
May the Force be with you.
We'll catch you guys next time.